G'day guys, Shawnee from Life and Tennis. In today's video, I'll be going over the Victorian Pennant State Grade Grand Final, which happened over the weekend. Pennant is the club competition that I play here in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia, and I feel like I've been saying that for the past 13 or 14 weeks, but it's just for, I guess, those people around the world who are watching this video right now who don't know what Pennant is. But yeah, it's basically the biggest intra-club competition in Australia. And I play at a grade 4 level, but the top level is state grade. So they had the grand final over the weekend, which featured Kooyong Lawn Tennis Club in both the men's and the women's competition, as well as Beaumaris in the women's and Faulkner Tennis Club in the men's. So look, what I thought I'd do in this video is go over a little recap of the day itself and also, my roles and responsibilities. So I was there for the first serve, which is a platform run by Brett Phillips, who's a commentator and a broadcaster. He's been doing it for about 15 or 20 years. So he's been commentating and broadcasting on all of the 4 major Grand Slams and the other events as well for, a long, long time. So he's got a lot of experience, but his main, platform at the moment is the first serve. He's basically traveling around the world, trying to really, build it up and try to build a decent following and grow the brand. And the staple of the first serve is a weekly radio show, a live radio show every Monday night. And within that show, he runs a 5-minute state grade segment, which basically recaps all the results from state grade, as well as an interview from one of the winning players. So yeah, he got me to do that this season, which was a lot of fun. But on Saturday, he asked me to attend the grand final, actually, be there in person to really, get the ambiance. Ambiance? I actually don't know how to say that word properly without sounding like a bit of a wanker, but but it sounds very sophisticated. But yeah, it was a lot of fun to attend the grand final. So essentially, I was there basically to get some audio snippets of the match, some of the match points, as well as interviews from the winning team captains and a recap of the day itself and a closing wrap as well. So yeah, quite a bit to do there, but yeah, it was a long day in the end. Started at 1 p.m, finished at 8:30 p.m. on a chilly Saturday night. So did not expect that, but yeah, did have a lot of fun doing it. And look, I'll go over how the day has run itself in terms of the competition. So basically, a bit like the rest of the season, there are 2 doubles matches each in both the men's and the women's, as well as 4 singles matches. And the day is played to a result, which means that if a team has already built an unassailable lead, so let's just say they've won the first 4 rubbers of the day, 2 doubles and 2 singles matches, they won't play the last 2 singles matches. So that means they might stop early. But if it's still live, then they'll play all the way through to completion. On the day, Kooyong won both the men's and the women's competition. The men finished at 5 p.m. They did not complete the last singles match, whereas the women ran all the way till 8:30 p.m, which was quite remarkable, really. Some intense matches, some amazing rallies, some great tennis overall. In addition to Kooyong Lawn Tennis Club hosting the event itself, Tennis Victoria runs the competition, and they also had, a few special commentators that came down for the day as well. So they had a couple of guys from a coaching academy called Get Set in Canberra. Their names are Nelson Parker and Reza Temset. They ran a state grade show, which is run by Tennis Victoria and hosted by Peter Mercado and Emily Smith from Tennis Victoria / Tennis Australia, as well as a few other commentators who basically were commentating on the matches as they were happening. So they did live stream 2 matches, 1 women's match and 1 men's match, so which was like the number 1 men's match and number 1 women's match, so doubles and singles. So yeah, it was a big professional sort of setup there, which was really, really cool to see. And yeah, I think everything ran really, really smoothly. But for me, it was quite amazing to see how many people work at an event like this behind the scenes for really what is, a club competition. It's not like they're not the professionals that are playing here, but yeah, Kooyong, there were a lot of supporters that came down to support Kooyong and to support Faulkner. So the atmosphere, the vibes there were amazing. They had a sausage sizzle. They were selling, alcohol as well. The bar was open. So yeah, it did make for a really, really great day, amazing spectacle, but also just, great, awesome vibes to be around and watch some really high quality tennis. In terms of the matches themselves, for me, the highlights I would have to say would be for the men's was the number 4 men's singles rubber, which was, came right down to the wire. Stephen Ho from Faulkner defeated Luca Connaughton from Kooyong in 3 tight sets, winning 14-12 in a super tiebreak, which was an unbelievable way to finish, and just such high quality tennis and contrasting styles, which that's what made it so entertaining, because you had Stephen, who was very much a grinder, very consistent, didn't miss, put so many balls back in play, and Luca Connaughton, who was very crafty, quite an aggressive player, and one of the best uses of drop shot that I've ever seen at a club tennis level. So I'm sure Carlos Alcaraz would have loved to have seen that, but it could have gone either way. And that for me was really, the pinnacle of the day in terms of just how tight and tense a tennis match can get at club level. And I would say on the women's, the highlight for me was the final singles rubber between Louise Field from Kooyong and Serena Lee from Beaumaris. That was another intense match. And again, contrasting styles. Louise Field is an ex-professional from the 90s, so she's very crafty play, very old school. She, a bit like Steffi Graf, slices the backhand, doesn't really hit over the ball, and loves to come into the net. So really, really crafty player. And Serena Lee, a bit younger than Louise, but she's that classic, young player that just loves to hit from the baseline. Really solid from both wings, forehand and backhand. Didn't really come into the net that often, but just, brutal attacking ground strokes from the backhand. Again, very, very consistent. So it could have gone either way. And in the women's competition, that was a live rubber. So that, it was still hanging in the balance up until Louise won that in a super tie break. So funnily enough, in the women's, Kooyong were actually up 3-love. They won the first 3 rubbers of the day, both doubles and the number 1 singles rubber. And Beaumaris came home like a freight train, winning the next 2 singles rubbers in straight sets, which they had to then force the deciding match, the last singles match, which Louise was actually down a set. And, if Serena Lee had won it in straight, she would have basically won the day for Beaumaris. But Louise Field really, really toughed it out there, won the second set, and then, really tight tiebreak, and was able to take it, I think 10-7 or 10-8 in the end. So quality tennis overall. Was great to see. And it was just played in good spirits overall. Both the men's and the women's were played in great spirits. There wasn't any, controversial moments. A few, racket throws to the fence and things like that, but nothing major. But sometimes it's good to see a bit of emotion, a bit of drama like that. But it was really, really good to see. So Kooyong, clean sweep of both state grade competitions. As for me, I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I was able to interview both team captains from Kooyong, from the men's and the women's teams, as well as, doing a little recap of the day. And I got some audio from, some of the matches, from the match points and things like that. So it turned out great. It went on the radio show on Monday, a couple of days ago, and I've also written a piece about it, which will go live on the First Serve website in the next couple of days, I would say, which I'll put a link in the description below. But just thought I'd cover the grassroots side of tennis, because sometimes we get so caught up in the professionals, the absolute upper echelon of tennis, basically, that you forget about the pathway and where some of these players would have started. I think it's really important to cover the the grassroots side of things, because you really see there's a lot of effort that goes into, first of all, organising these competitions, and the people that work behind the scenes, as well as just the sheer talent that's on display. Like, it's a really, really high level of competition. So, like, as an example, in the men's, you'll get guys that have like UTRs of 12 to 12 and a halves, which I guess, like, look, if you look at the pros don't we go by UTRs obviously, but in the pros, like, the top 100 players are all like in the 15s, which sounds like a massive difference from 12, but really, like, by the time you're getting to, say, in the 13s, especially in the men's, you're getting to that point where you're starting to compete at a serious level, whether it's futures tournaments around Europe, or even, I guess, the next level is playing challenges and then making it onto the ATP tour, which is, you probably have to get to like up to, say, a UTR of 14 and above for that. But it's still like an incredibly high level of tennis. And yeah, it's just that it's great to watch. So, and there's still a lot of value to be had for running a competition like that and having this sort of the pathway for, especially for young players coming through, to be able to compete against all different levels of player, and then, you know, to also be able to play in tournaments, you know, in addition to playing, you know, pennant, playing this club competition. So yeah, anyway guys, that's it from me. As always, keen to hear how your club competitions, your tournaments are going wherever you are in the world. And as always, please like and subscribe for more life and tennis related content. Cheers, guys.